Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be when someone else sees who the narcissist is. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So you were the first person to crack the code, most likely. You were the first person to put two and two together and deduce or figure out that the person you are considering, and maybe even were in a relationship with, is the toxic person, the narcissist. Many people that you were discussing this with or talking with about what narcissism was, they couldn't wrap their head around it. And they probably thought that you maybe were the narcissist, or you had problems, or you didn't know what you were talking about, or you're not a therapist or a doctor, you're not licensed, you can't diagnose anybody. I get the whole thing. What those people don't recognize or realize is that you don't need to be a doctor or a therapist or one of those people. If you were in the narcissistic abusive cycle, you know exactly how debilitating that was and how life-threatening it was and how challenging it was. You were not taught this in school. This is something that catapulted you from one part of your life to the next part. It spun your world upside down. It took you on a roller coaster of emotions, super high and super low, and at the end, the narcissist left you reeling. They most likely discarded you. They most likely did not give you closure, and they slithered off onto a new source of supply. Again, you were not supposed to figure this out, but you did. So as you were becoming awakened and aware, educated and empowered, and understanding not only what narcissism is, but what empathy is and how human beings work and function, and you realize that not everybody thinks the way you think, not everyone wants the same things as you did, and that many people are envious or jealous of you, and many people will misdirect you or give you very bad information or not necessarily be transparent or authentic. If you knew this when you were younger, perhaps you could have avoided some pitfalls. Point being is you're here now, and what matters is the present moment. So as you are putting yourself back together, number one, the narcissist is simply doing what they always did, but they're probably getting worse because they've aged. Number two, the narcissist is loyal to nobody. They won't be authentic or genuine, and they don't care about anybody. Number three, they did not figure out how strong you were. They never thought you were this strong. Number four is this. It's the most important part for this video. Other people that you were talking to post-relationship about why this hurt or why this relationship was different or how they could just do whatever they did and why they claim to love you or care about you, and maybe one day you came home and your house was cleaned out or your bank account was cleaned out or they were gone. When you experienced that and you were sharing that with other people, they were probably just saying, oh, well, maybe you had something to do with it. Maybe it was your fault. And they started pointing the finger at you perhaps. Or maybe they didn't listen to you because they couldn't. Or maybe they didn't listen to you because they're toxic themselves. Or maybe they knew who the narcissist was the whole time. Or maybe they had seen or heard this before, but they weren't smart enough or intuitive enough to put the pieces together. Now, this is no disrespect to anybody. We're all human beings. We all come in different shapes, sizes, skin colors, ethnicities. We speak different languages, etc. But when you've been in the cycle, you know exactly how debilitating that cycle was and what it did to you and how it almost destroyed you, your life, your purpose, your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations, your relationships, your goals, your health, your money, and so much more. But it didn't. Yeah, did the narcissist do damage to you? Absolutely. Did they take everything that they thought they could take? They did. Did they think you would put yourself back together? No, they didn't. Did they think you would heal? Absolutely not. Did they think that you would be stuck pining for them or thinking about them or wanting to reach out to them or trying to give them another chance to abuse you? Absolutely they did. Because you were different than everybody else the narcissist had manipulated or abused or taken advantage of before. You are the strong one. You're the fortified one. You're the resilient one. You're the person with purpose, direction, strength, courage, fortitude, and you now understand that you are stronger than you know. So when you put all these things together and you recognize that over time as you are healing, yes, the narcissist is just doing what they always do. My hope is you've gone no contact and gotten off the radar of that person or those people. But eventually, the narcissist will expose themselves. Now, it may not happen today. It may not happen tomorrow. It may happen tonight. Maybe it happens in a week. But the more toxicity the narcissist dishes out to people that you knew or people that you didn't know, the more people are beginning to understand how debilitating the narcissist really is and that all they care about is themselves. So let's fast forward to something here. Let's say there were people that you were talking to post-relationship. Maybe they were immediate family members, maybe they were friends or coworkers, or maybe even the therapist, I can't tell you, and you were sharing information, and these people couldn't wrap their head around what you were talking about. Maybe they were telling you that, it takes two to tango. Maybe it was your fault. Or did you do everything? I'm not so sure you gave the relationship your all, or whatever they would do. Eventually, what happens with some of these people, certainly not most and definitely not all, I'm talking a minority, a very small group of these people, is they will eventually take the experiences that you shared with them. They will have talked to other people, or perhaps read books, or watched videos, or had their own problems, and they will put two and two together. And they will say, and this may happen in a year, it may happen in 5 years, it may happen in 20 years. But these people themselves, they may say, wait a minute, I remember way back when so-and-so, which was you, was broken. They were shattered in 1,000 pieces and they didn't know what was going on. And I couldn't really do much for them. I couldn't figure out what it was. And now that same thing is happening to me. Or maybe it's happening to my adult child. Or maybe it's happening to my sister, my brother. But now I have a little bit of wisdom, and now I can put these two things together and I can say, wait a minute, this is kind of adding up. I've heard this before. I don't know exactly what these things are, but I remember years ago somebody told me something similar. And then that person, if they really care about the person they're considering, not saying they didn't care about you, but when they were with you, they probably weren't wise enough to figure it out, but because you were a one-off. I hope you're following this video. But now that they have another person, and time has gone by, and more people are putting up boundaries, and they're not tolerating poor behavior like they used to, and they're understanding what toxicity is, then maybe this person you're considering, or maybe that this is the first video they're watching, they say, oh my gosh, that was a narcissist. I didn't even know that. And I lived with them. I taught them. That was my spouse. That was my parent. That was my neighbor. That was my roommate. That was the person that gave me rides to work. And eventually these people, some of these people, and this could be you right now, I can't tell you, these people themselves will sit back in disbelief and say, wait, I can't believe this either happened to me, or I'm seeing this again, or I'm hearing about it. And how come I didn't figure it out back then? I don't understand. Well, the reason they didn't figure it out back then, if they are a stable, healthy person, is because number one, it didn't affect them to the degree it affected you. Number two, they probably had different things in their life that were going on. Number three, they didn't know anything about what you were talking about. And number four, as you were sharing with them information years ago, let's say, it soaked into their mind, although they couldn't absorb it. It just stayed there. It stayed stagnant, trapped in the back of their mind, and they're like, okay, whatever, that conversation, I didn't really understand it, but whatever. And now fast forward years later, now maybe it's affecting them, and they'll say, wait, oh my gosh, that's what that person went through, which was you. They told me something similar. What is this? And then they'll go down different rabbit holes of education and exploration. You must understand this is a very, very small minority. It's a very small group of people. But this is beginning to happen more and more, because it's all fun and games when someone else's life implodes, or when someone else has to get divorced, or when someone else is going through challenging or trying times and they have a medical concern or a health challenge, or they lose their job, or they get discarded, or their 401k gets milked dry. But when it happens to you, it's a whole different ballgame. Now again, this is not who you are, meaning you are an empath, you're a kind, loving, stable person. But what I'm sharing with you are so many things. One is, when you were discarded, I can assure you no one was there for you. Number two, I can assure you that nobody, maybe one person if you're fortunate, but I doubt it, nobody understood what narcissism was, because you didn't either. Number three, the education wasn't as prevalent as it is right now. But number four, you had to figure this out for yourself, and you did, and you were probably talking to other people, although maybe you didn't even know what narcissism was back then, and you had to talk to other people and explain what was going on. Like, example, let's say it was a romantic relationship and it ended abruptly. Well, that was a discard, but you didn't know what a discard was because you didn't know what the narcissist was. You didn't know what financial abuse was because you were paying your way and your spouse's way through life, or raising kids or tuition or whatever. But as you were doing all those things, the narcissist was squirreling money behind the scenes and taking your money. And again, what does the narcissist love more than money? They love your money. But again, as time went by and you healed and you ascended and elevated and grew and reached the pinnacle of indifference, the narcissist, number one, was still doing what they were always doing. You became wise, you had a small footprint, and you healed, or you're healing. But these other people I'm talking about, their life continued to go on. And if they weren't toxic, or maybe even if they were, but let's say they weren't, this very well may have affected them. and even by the same person you're considering right now. You see, no one gets out unscathed, not one person from the narcissist. If you are in the proximity or in communication with them, you are either being a flying monkey, you're being an enabler, or you are being used. That's the way it works. If you think, no, my best friend's the narcissist, and I know they're a narcissist, and they're loyal to me, and they care about me, and maybe they even love me, you really need to look in the mirror, because you're wrong. The narcissist doesn't care about you. They don't care about anybody but themselves. And everything in the narcissistic relationship works until when? That's right, until it doesn't. So maybe you're the next person that gets discarded. Maybe you're the next person that gets thrown away and crumbled up like a sheet of paper and thrown away in the freeway. Now, do I want that to happen to you? Absolutely not. I want you to wake up and realize if somebody you're considering is toxic and you're still communicating with them, you really, really better be careful, because any information you share with them can be weaponized against you. Any of your time, money, energy, effort, love, empathy, anything else can be weaponized against you, and they will use the smear campaign or try to blow up your life whenever they want to, just because. Now, having said that, when other people or someone else sees the narcissist for who they are, it's because they finally connected the dots. They finally saw what you were trying to explain to them so many years ago. They finally got the light bulb moment. There's an expression in English which I've shared over the years: when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. That was true with me. I'm sure it was true with you if you made it this far in the video, and it may be true with the people you're considering, not the narcissist, but other people. When they finally see your ex or your sibling, adult sibling who maybe is the narcissist, or your mom or dad or your friend or whoever it is, when they finally see that person for who they are, the reason they will finally see that person is because something will have happened with them directly or indirectly, or they will have run across a video or a book, or they will be getting their nails done or their hair done, or getting a beard trimmed, or getting a haircut, and someone will say something and it'll click and they'll be like, wait, I heard something about that or something similar to that years ago. Can you say that again? And then eventually they will put two and two together. Now again, was that person that you're considering not the narcissist, but the person who will finally see your ex as the narcissist or as they really are? Will that person have been affected directly? Maybe, maybe not. I can't tell you. But what I can tell you is so many times you are having conversations with people. Put narcissism on the side for a minute. So many times you have conversations with people and they will tell you something and it won't click with you today, but maybe it clicks with you tomorrow. Maybe it clicks with you in a month. Maybe it takes 5 years. Or maybe somebody says something in a couple of days and you're like, oh my gosh, someone else just said that. What does that mean again? This is how things work. This is an energetic connection that we all have. We are all connected. The trees behind me, that train going in the background. Yes, the train, because it's energy and there's a conductor running it right now. And I'm sure there are people all over the train going wherever they're going or coming from wherever they're coming. And I'm connected with you wherever you are on the planet right now. You see, as I'm creating this video and you're consuming it, we are connected. You were connected with the narcissist, but what you did is you cut the 4 ties. The emotional tie, the financial tie, the physical tie, and the spiritual tie. And as you cut them, you elevated and ascended, and you grew and you changed. And you understood that you were grateful to be out of that relationship, although it stung, and you had to rebuild. And that's what you did. You also realized that the narcissist was just doing what they do, not downplaying them. They're toxic, parasitical creatures. You should get away from them as far and as fast as you possibly can. And the third thing, the most important thing for this video, is the people you were talking to, whether you were in the relationship, you didn't know that you were in it with a narcissist, post-relationship when you got discarded, or whatever period of time you're talking about after you got the wisdom, or when you were in the cycle. Those other people, narcissism has affected them, whether you know it or not. I'll say it again. Narcissism has affected them, whether you know it or not. Did it affect them to the level it affected you? I can't tell you. But each and every day, think about how many people you encounter or interact with. Think of how many human beings you have communication with every single day. And you may say, well, I stay in my house, I don't talk to anybody. Okay, fair enough. Well, you still are watching videos. You still are probably on social media. You're still reading comments. Maybe you're still leaving comments. Maybe you're answering emails or receiving emails or getting texts or receiving texts or journaling or reading or writing letters or doing work emails. I don't know what you're doing, but you're communicating with people. I'm not saying the narcissist, I'm saying people. If you think about how many people you communicated with today, it's way more than one person. And you may say, no, I live all by myself in the middle of the wilderness and it's just me. Well, if you're here and you're on social media or you're on YouTube, you're still connected with other people. Understand what I'm mentioning to you. The connection is evident. It's all over the planet. It's an energetic connection. So why I'm saying this before I close the video is you are in the cycle. You're out. You're healing or you've healed. The narcissist is doing whatever they're doing, abusing other people. The narcissist will get their karma. They will get their payday. They will get what's coming to them from the power above, not from a human being, and certainly not from anybody like myself, because I don't wish ill will upon anybody. Never have. I'm not going to start now. And the third most important thing for this video before I close it is you need to understand eventually other people will see what you saw. They may not see it to the level of what you saw, but they're going to experience toxicity. Right now, as I'm creating this video, and maybe you're just taking it easy on your couch and you're unplugging for the weekend, and it's the fall wherever you're living, you've got your sweatpants on and you've got a cup of hot chocolate or cocoa and you're all comfortable and the fireplace is burning and the leaves are changing and it's really chilly where you live, whatever's happening. As you're doing that, the narcissist, yes, your ex, yes, whoever you were considering, but not just that one person or those couple people, all the toxic people over the planet, they're affecting people's lives every single second that we are on this planet. When we're sleeping, when we're awake, when we're on vacation, when we're working, when we are on our hobby groups, etc. That's why once you get the wisdom, you have to go no contact and block these people, get off the radar of them, and heal properly. So before I close the video, and I've said it twice, maybe 3 times, I'll say it again. You're out, you're healing, or you've healed. All these other people, or whoever they were that you were sharing your information with, even when you didn't even know what narcissism was, eventually they will show themselves, reveal themselves to be either toxic themselves, and probably they're not, but maybe, or B, narcissism will affect them to the level it affected you. Maybe, maybe not, I can't tell you. But maybe in the future, one of those people, not the narcissist, maybe one of those healthy, stable people will reach out to you and say, hey, could you tell me a little bit more about your experience? Because I'm having something similar to what you shared with me 5 years ago, and I can't quite wrap my head around it. Ding, ding, ding. This is why once you're out, you need to stay out. This is why you need to batten down the hatches and close every avenue of communication with any toxic person. I am talking any single one of them. And you need to not give other toxic people chances or opportunities. You need to have a small footprint. You need to not overshare information, and you need to focus on yourself, and above all, control what you can control. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful, chilly Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. I love you all. God bless you. And I will talk to you tomorrow. And understand something. This is happening right now, whether you know it or not. People all over the globe, and there are 8.2, maybe 8.3 billion people on the planet who have interacted with the person you're considering, if the person you're considering is still living. Those people, whether they're in your same town, city, state, country, or jurisdiction, they are experiencing different levels of abuse or manipulation, just like you did, or more, or worse, or higher or lower. The question is, will they figure it out or will they not? Any way you cut it, the narcissist is a user, abuser, a manipulator, a liar, a thief, a cheater, and they don't care about people as being beautiful, bright, shining lights. They care about people as being opportunists, being opportunities, and being naive and being pliable or malleable, whatever the word is. They want to form and shape these people and their mindsets into doing whatever they want, which is why usually when you're in these relationships, you become the unpaid helper, the walking apology, etc. That isn't me, and it will never be again. My hope is that's not you, and it won't ever be again. So understand, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I am a teacher, and I'm a very good one. I am a student. I'm an even better one. You too need to understand, if your cup is full, continue to teach and educate people in any capacity you can, if you're strong enough, and continue to always become educated, awakened, and aware, and empowered, and continue to learn and be the best student you possibly can. Above all, stay away from toxicity. Go no contact, block that person or those people, if not now, when? I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye.